Amazing audience. So we are live with Rob Kornblum. Rob, you are real. Let me touch you. Yeah, he is he's real. Yeah. So Rob was on the podcast. I think it was back in 2016. Yeah. Wow. And today, I have now had the opportunity to have a pre-conversation with him, which was pretty cool. Rob did something pretty cool as well. Like, he got the space for us that we're in right now, and which is WeWork. I mean, big up to WeWork and what they do. Yeah. So, I mean, definitely there's that. But more than anything else, there's Rob Kornblum, right? So, Rob, what's up with your world? What's going on? Tell me. Give me an update from the last time we spoke to know what has changed. What are you doing?
So, I am I'm writing another book.
Right.
This one
Tell us the name of the first book first.
The first book was called Never Too Late to Start Up. And it was about midlife entrepreneurship, so starting your first company after you've worked in corporate world or in some other setting.
Right.
And doing that when you have a family and you have kids and you have other obligations, and how you can balance all that and still create an amazing company.
And now you've gone into what after that?
So now I'm doing two things. I'm writing this new book, which is all about startup culture and hiring, and I'm actively coaching startup CEOs.
Ooh, sounds like fun.
It's great, yeah.
What is the general age bracket of a startup CEO?
Even though my first book was about midlife, the folks that I'm coaching is really all over the board. So it's any people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, doesn't matter.
I can imagine the fun you have with those that are 20. Like, I would think that because you're coming from such of a youthful model, because it seems as though you have this youthfulness about you, right? That I can imagine the fun you have and they get to have. Is it fun?
It is really fun. It's really fun. I love the energy of working with people who are trying to change the world. Yeah. So I draw energy from them. That's great.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, right.
So your second book, you said, I heard you mentioning it, that it's on pre-release, right?
Yes.
So tell us.
Yeah, it's called Entrepreneur Rocket Fuel, and it's on Amazon. If anybody wants to pick up a pre-release copy, should be out later this summer.
Yeah.
And it really stemmed from the first book. The things that got me the most excited from that book were really about people trying to build culture around where they were in their lives. And so it started me thinking about and writing about and interviewing people about the idea of building culture in general inside a company. And that kind of led to, you have to hire people to build culture. And so what are the best ways to hire people? It's actually one of the biggest challenges for most people who are trying to build companies is hiring great people.
Yeah, we don't usually have a like a HR department.
No,
in
exactly.
A startup,
and you don't have a lot of assets to work with. So this really is a lot of both strategies and then also tactics, tips and tricks and things like that about things that you can do when you don't have a lot behind you. So
what's one of the biggest challenges you've seen repeated in the startup life, that CEO, or one of his challenges?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is that people believe that they don't have to have any process. That because they're a startup, they're going to reject process because process is a big company thing.
Yeah.
And the reality is you have to have some process.
Yeah.
It can be a really lightweight process. It can be a Google Doc or whatever, but you have to have some process for doing things, or it just turns into chaos.
Yeah.
And no process can work when you're one or two people, but as soon as you get to 5 or 10 or 15 or 50,
havoc.
It's havoc, right? You have to have some process.
Yeah.
So a little, lightweight, light touch.
What inspired you to start that book, to help? Was it that you were in the space as well as an entrepreneur?
Absolutely.
Startup?
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
I had lived, started as a venture capitalist, so I was investing in entrepreneurs. And then I got out of that and I started as an operating executive and then started some of my own companies. And the first book was really sort of the thing I wish I had, right? It was like the owner's manual for how do you do all this stuff. And the origins of that were that I was running a company inside an accelerator here in Boston, and all of my peer CEOs were all in their 20s, and I was in my 40s, and I was just struck by how differently we did things.
Yeah.
And so first it was just going to be a blog post about, hey, how is it different being a 40-something versus a 20-something?
Yeah.
And then a book outline came out.
Wow.
And so it was really organic.
Now, one of the segments we like to cover is your own unique real shoes.
Okay.
And that segment really comes about your own unique real struggle, right?
Okay.
Because sometimes people see your shoes and it's a good covering, right?
Right.
So you say, yeah, it's nice shoes, but you don't see the feet and the path that those feet have walked, right?
I like it. That's a nice metaphor.
Yeah, there we go, right?
Yeah.
So tell us, what's one of the things you've struggled with or have struggled with in the past over the last 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, I think, you and I talked earlier about struggling to kind of figure out your mission. It took me a long time to figure out sort of who I'm best meant to serve and how to serve them.
Yeah.
I started after the first book to serve people who were in that same area, people who were struggling to get out of their corporate life and start a company. And I realized that that's not who I'm meant to serve. Only after starting to serve them for a while.
Yeah.
That's not really what I'm here to do best. I'm an amazing connector. That is my superpower.
Yeah.
But the things that I'm great at connecting are much more high growth businesses, super fast growing, more Silicon Valley, Boston, New York, Austin type companies. And that's really who I'm put here to work with and serve. So
that's good. So definitely the process in your process, right, is that you fail and then you bounce back as quickly, if you want to call it failure, right? And
yeah,
then
well, in that case, in those 2 years, it was really, it was a lot of learning.
Yeah.
But certainly before that, yeah, plenty of failure.
Yeah.
So,
when you heard that this guy from the Caribbean, right, was coming to meet you, right, what did you think?
Oh, after we'd already spoken the first time on the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, I was so excited.
Yeah.
Because I just knew how much energy you had and how much love was there behind it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I remember that conversation like it was yesterday. It was fascinating that when we met a second time, you said, and I think this is where truth comes into alignment. You were like, Angel, there's someone you need to meet, right?
Yeah.
Right? And how that works. But to see that happen again, it's like the truth in you. You are truly a connector, right? Like you immediately jumped into,
that's my superpower.
Yeah, I need to connect you with this person and this person. And I think even when we posted this out, it's something you did as well, right? You were like, well, would you need a place? I think I can help you with that. Like you jumped in there. How has that helped you in terms of your business growth?
I think it's one of those things that I'm still struggling to figure out how to describe, because it's anybody that I choose to work with, and that's really how I think about it, right? It's when I work with someone as a client, it's got to be mutual. So they're choosing to work with me, I'm choosing to work with them. Is how do I describe and put value on my network, and not only on what the network is, but how I utilize it. It's just inevitable. It's not 100% of the time, but 90% of the time when I'll be working with someone and I'll say, oh, there's somebody you need to meet. And there'll end up being value in that relationship.
Yeah.
And so it's something I'm really struggling to figure out how to describe and monetize and ascribe value to, because I know it's real.
Yeah. I can see that happening with me as well, with the people I'm meeting, and how do I, Nick and I was talking about that before, how do you really do that? But I'm sure we'll figure it out together. What are you most excited about right now?
I'm most excited about really getting my coaching business going. Because I finally, after years, have figured out who I'm really meant to serve. And now I'm just putting in place the operating system around how I'm best going to serve them.
Where's the best place for people to connect with you?
They should connect with me on my blog, which is startlaunchgrow.com. There's a contact form there, or they can just email me. It's rob.kornblum@gmail. So
startlaunchgrow.com.
Yeah, so it's the components of building a startup, right? You got to start, then you're going to launch something, and then you're going to grow it. So I put all that together.
Yeah, I love it. Love it, love it. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience before we leave?
I'm just so glad to finally meet you and hopefully introduce you to our fine city here in Boston.
Yeah, sounds like fun. Like I appreciate you as well. Now, I mean, shout out to your boys, right? So
absolutely. to my 3 boys and my wife, and hopefully they get a chance to see this.
Yeah. So amazing audience again. We're live with the guy. He's real. We're at the WeWork, and it's been fun. Like it's been a tremendous fun. We have Rob here, Kornblum, Kornblum. Yeah, have fun. See you later.
All right, see y'all.